Pretty impressive Fright Fest commercial. You know that's not just Six. That's all Six
Where
Flags.
is that?
Yeah, that's not Great Adventure. That's all Six Flags. That's a corporate commercial. So.
For only half as good.
Yeah, that's from 2016, but that's a pretty good one. I like that one. Hello and welcome to episode number 24 of Some Great Adventures, the podcast for old friends who met and worked at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, chat about our days in the park. As usual, the podcast is made possible by our friends at the Shared Universe Podcast Studio, and we're recording via Facebook Live, so the video version is always available on our Facebook page, and the audio version will be up on all major podcasting platforms within a few days, or i.e. whenever my lazy ass gets it loaded up. So I am Steve Hicks, and my co-hosts are
Got Loudon,
Chris Peluso,
Andy Aulietti.
Hey, fellas. All right, so I guess since we started out with a Fright Fest commercial, and Scotty and I and his kid Alyssa got to go to the park and enjoy the Fest of the Frights a few Sundays ago. Might as well kick off with some Fright Fest talk here. So they had Oktoberfest running too. That runs pretty much through Fright Fest almost. We posted a whole bunch of pictures on our Facebook page. Oktoberfest was pretty well done. I can't say anything bad about it. I feel like every year they actually kind of kick ass at the Oktoberfest piece. What do you think, Scott? About the same?
Yeah, it seems like it's maybe their biggest draw now because the day we were there, it was the busiest I've seen it in a long time.
They got rid of that shitty catering manager from years ago.
That's right. I heard about him.
I got to tell you, man, when we're talking about the catering manager, though, whoever the current one is, I don't know who sets up the food, but they break it up into like food booths. And like they have it cordoned off in its own area right behind the fountain. That's where it's been for the last 2 years. And they also had a food truck. And they tell you, like, if you go on their website or if you go and use the app, it'll tell you what is available at each one, which makes it easy for you to figure out. Which for me is fantastic because I don't eat the meat. So, I'm like Scotty. So, he eats all the meat. So,
that's right.
I had to, figure out where the hell can I eat because that's always kind of a thing. And I got to say, they actually give a lot of options, which are pretty cool. They also do a lot of special drinks for Fright Fest that are pretty cool. Like they had Scott's favorite, the Green Fairy. So Midori, pineapple juice, absolute vodka, blue Carico. They have like all kinds of special drinks like that. It's pretty awesome, man.
I like the drinks that they served in like the blood bags. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, so they got regular old blood bags, and you just suck it. You put a straw in it, suck it into the blood bag.
I gotta ask. So Universal had the blood bags, and they were the greatest. They were so awesome. It was the Jello in the blood bags, so friggin' good when they were cold. Then years after, they just started putting out warm. Not only warm at the time, it seemed like maybe they were warm sitting out in the sun beforehand too, because they tasted like a melted plastic bag. Had to bail on them. I was so pissed. Are they keeping them cooler? Are you getting any of that? Because warm Jello, not so good.
So it looked like it's a vodka drink and not a Jello drink. It looked like it's an actual drink. And I got to tell you, we didn't buy one, but there were a lot of people having them. And
they're probably cooling them down.
Yeah, I have to assume either they were definitely cool or they suckered enough people into that first purchase. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. After a while, you don't care.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that's a bonus there, too, is that almost every one of the stands has their own specialty, like not only food, but dessert. So, like, when Scott and Alyssa went over to get what they were getting, I think, Scott, I think you guys got a pretzel, right? A big-ass Bavarian pretzel, right?
Yeah, the pretzel was good.
The pretzel's always good. I had that last year, too. They got the caramel apple blossom, which is a baked apple dumpling with caramel drizzle on it.
Ooh.
Scott, you had that. That looked pretty damn good.
That was good. 2 thumbs up.
Nice.
I went over to the I'm never going to pronounce this right. They for the Americans, they just put in parentheses dumpling food truck, but it's called the Nodal Imbisswagen. Okay. And they had potato pancakes with applesauce or sour cream. I got that. They had pierogies, and the pierogies came with your choice of mushroom gravy if you were a vegetarian, or beer, cheese, and bacon bits gravy, which was awesome. So I got the mushroom gravy, both fantastic. I will say the portions are tiny. However, you're only paying like $6 to $8 a piece. So in reality, that's honestly, in my opinion, completely lower than typical amusement park prices. So I was pretty damn happy with it. Mine had, surprisingly, they only had like one can of beer, and it was like fucking grapefruit beer. And even the lady that was working the food trucks, I go, "Is that good?" And she goes, "It's not a joke." She goes, "Yes." While she's shaking.
Oh, what?
So
wait. Was it Hefeweizen? Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, Hefeweizen with grapefruit. Yeah. So it wasn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, it depends. If you're into like a friggin' bud, you're gonna be like, "What the hell's this?"
Yeah, but I don't think this was that brand. I saw it in the back, and it was not, because if it was, I would have picked it up, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But just for her shaking her head, I was like, nope. I was like, I'll pass on that. But they had Black Forest cake, which I had last year, and it was great. This year they had bread pudding bites, deep fried bread pudding bites and cinnamon sugar, the caramel drizzle. That was cool because there were a bunch of them. So like Scott could have it, Alyssa could have it, I could have it. We could like just share that, Fantastic. All the food was fantastic. I can't complain about anything there. It was really, really good. They also had at the Munich Munchies, which is booth 2, they had caramel apple crumb cake, which the guy next to me said when we were eating had. And man, I was jealous. I wanted to when he turned his head, I wanted to just be like, I eat it.
Yeah, man.
Scott went to that one, and I could not believe this because he didn't get 1. He didn't get 2. He got 3 of these. They had pickle on a stick.
Yeah. Well, I had to take some home for later,
Well, I mean, you had to take it home because you don't bite them. You just sit there and suck on them. So it's like, it was the weirdest thing. Me and your daughter were looking at you like, why are you doing that? It was so bizarre. But anyways, I got a bunch of them. So that was fun,
Yeah. Yep. Nothing to say to that.
Nothing to say to that. Yeah, I didn't take pictures. I was being nice. So outside of that, I don't really have much more to say about the Oktoberfest. It's enclosed its own little area. Even though it's packed, you can actually get to like the food pretty easily. There's like the one Liberty Pizza place is like kind of the core building. So if you're going in there, the lines usually kind of suck. But otherwise, like we had nobody on the ones we went to. There was literally no line. We walked right up pretty much. There was like 2 or 3 people there. It was great. The one downer, because they didn't have any beer I wanted at the one I went to, I was like, Scott, grab me a beer. And he was like, all right. So Scott went over to get beers, and I didn't even think about it, but they were like, you have to be here to show your ID to get the beer, which makes total sense. But then they were also like 1 beer a person. That's it per purchase. So you have to buy 1, go drink it, come back, buy another, go drink it, like 1 at a time. You can't even buy like 2 if you're going to sit and like eat dinner for like a half hour. You know what I mean? Like a longer time, That's kind of silly, but it's funny because I guess in reality, when they don't do that in the rest of the park, I guess they're being smart and saying we just don't want a bunch of hammered people in this little enclosed area. So not really a complaint, but, kind of silliness. Otherwise, I think it's fantastic. I like the Oktoberfest. Scott, your final opinion on it?
Yeah, definitely good. I liked it.
Yeah, and I think, Scott, you said, so Alyssa's been to the park a lot, but she's never done the Fright Fest type stuff. And so obviously, I think she never did the Oktoberfest stuff either, right?
That's right.
Yeah, she seemed to highly enjoy it. So, I mean, if anyone her age range, which is, the teenager age range, likes it, that's already a big draw for the park. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, there wasn't any problem finding anything, everybody likes to eat. So
exactly. Fright Fest is broken up into 2 things. By the way, we have Barry and Brian joining us on the comments. What's up, Barry? What's up, Brian? Fright Fest is broken up into 2 things. It's broke up into, which a lot of the parks do this now. Boo Fest is the daytime. So pre-sun going down, it's all kid friendly. And the atmosphere characters are a little more kid friendly. They have some of the scary ones, but not like the truly, not the chainsaw wielding ones and stuff like that. Once the sun goes down, then it's Fright Fest. Then it becomes like more PG-13 R-ish. Okay. A couple of the haunted houses are specifically some of them open at 4, and those are the more family friendly ones. And then some of them open specifically after sunset only. And those are like the more terrifying ones is what they kind of advertise it as.
And they were the open ones too. Like,
yes, exactly. So they don't want the sun, they don't want you to be able to see everything because there's no actual roof over them. So they want it to be dark. Yeah, for sure. Boo Fest did a really cool thing. Boo Fest, and I didn't even know that they were doing this. So in the past, and this is years ago, if you go on the Great Adventure History site, which we love, there's a little bit of talk about Switlicky Manor, and we've all talked about Switlicky Manor, where I think when we were there, Jordan was living there, wasn't he? Jerry Jordan was living there because I think we used to pick his trash up, right, Andy, during work group?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
So that's been abandoned forever, okay? If you actually go on YouTube, you could find a girl that posted that literally kind of, apparently she worked there at the time, but like it looks like it was back in 2014. She just basically broke in and just took videos because there's always a rumor it's haunted. And so there's like 2 videos of her in there doing like the paranormal thing because she's saying it's haunted. And I'm like, these are bullshit. You know? What were you going to say, Scott?
No, nothing.
So what they're doing this year is they have a Boo Fest hayride. So it's a kiddie hayride, and it's unfortunately like, and which makes sense because you don't want petties going on these damn things for the kids, but you have to, the adults can only go on like as to, you know, accompany kids. It's meant specifically for kids and that's it. But they are taking you out past Switlicky Manor. And it actually has like a big old boo, like you know, one of those 20-foot ghosts there saying boo in front of the manor. And it doesn't look all that terrible. It doesn't look like it's falling apart or anything. But it's kind of cool that their path now is to take you past there during the day, which is ironic because people do keep claiming it's a haunted place now. So that's kind of funny. I thought that was kind of neat. There's one dude that posted a whole bunch of pictures of it. Apparently it starts like, if you're going to go on to that one, it starts at Joker and Harley Quinn, runs on Saturdays and Sundays, kids for 12 under. And so even older kids can't go on. Like it literally is broke down like that. The one thing that made me think about is I don't know anything. I really didn't know anything about the history of like Stanley Switlick or Switlicky Manor or anything like that. Like, did you guys ever really delve into like the history of this guy and his issues with Six Flags?
Yeah, well, you know, he's probably still pissed off. He always claimed they lied to him.
He ain't pissed off anymore because he's dead, but I'm sure he was.
That's why that place is haunted.
Yeah, no, that's actually a lot of people say that. And yeah, he was definitely pissed off. There's no doubt. He got screwed. I'll give you a quick recap. There's a recap from a legal site from one of the lawyer companies that breaks it down in about 3 pages. And it's kind of fascinating reading on when you really go into the details. But then on Wikipedia, they have, if you just look up Stanley Switlick, they have a very brief like explanation of him. He died March 4th, 1981. He was a parachute pioneer, so that's kind of funny. And his actual parachutes apparently were the ones that they were using for Parachuters Purge. It's that type of parachute that he was like part of. And they also did like, not just, they used the parachute material to do other stuff. Anything is basically heavy stone items like golf bags, mail bags, all that type of stuff. That was kind of like their big deal. And whatchamacallit, he apparently, with his partner, George P. Putnam, built the first parachute training tower in the United States. The first jump from this tower was on June 2nd, 1935 by Amelia Earhart, who described the experience as loads of fun. So that's kind of cool, too.
Yeah.
He died of a heart attack in Marathon, Florida, supposedly completely poor and bankrupt because of the whole issues through Great Adventure and other things. And then they actually have a section that specifically says Great Adventure controversy. In 1973, Switlick initially agreed to sell 800 acres of property he owned to the original company that eventually became Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. The controversy was how the property was to be utilized. It was his position that it would be used for a drive-through animal park. That's it. But the plan of the buyers was also to include the amusement park. As a conversationist, Switlick believed the amusement park should not be built. He did not want there. He just wanted to be part of the animal park. In a long, protracted legal battle, which eventually went to the U.S. Supreme Court, he lost the case. A judgment of $4.8 million had been originally awarded, and then after the long battle increased the payment substantially due to interest on the original judgment, all that was gone. This resulted in a bankruptcy to him and his family. Great Adventure was built and now includes both amusement rides and drive-through animal park. Ironically, the one elementary school, is still named Switlick, and there's also an elementary school in Marathon, Florida, where he died. That's also named after him. So that's kind of funny. But that dude did not have a good ending and sad history with Great Adventure. So one of those things I just never knew about. So when I found out, I was like, oh, that's an interesting thing to bring up. All right. So let's jump into not much more about Boo Fest. We didn't really attend Boo Fest. We got there right as the sun was about to set. Our goal was to hit the haunted houses. So
I can't wait to talk about that because I thought I saw it. I'm not on Facebook much, but I saw a post that was disturbing. But please continue.
Okay. So you pay like like the retail price is supposed to be like $50 for the haunted pass, which allows you to go into all the haunted attractions as many times throughout the month, okay, then that's just regular line now. And I'm going to be blunt with you. If we had gone in the regular line for almost any of those haunted attractions, that would have been it for the night.
That's why they give you the pass for the month. It takes you a month to get through them all.
Yeah, it absolutely. If you went through the regular lines, no doubt. I mean, the lines are long as F.
So wait, it's like a fast pass type of thing, right?
No.
Not okay. That's what I was saying. So what do you mean
hold on.
regular lines though? What are the regular?
So they have the regular line, but then for like I believe it's typically 35 more. I paid 25. I think Scott did too. They have the express haunted house pass, which is only good for that day.
Right.
That's on top of the other one. You have to buy them both. Okay.
Yep.
Now the other one though is good for the whole month. Okay.
Right.
So as many times you go on regular line, you're good. So like Scott said, if you don't hit 3 today, you can go tomorrow and hit them. Okay. You can go whenever you want. Okay. As long as it's the day they have Fright Fest. Right.
Right.
We paid for the express. We got there at 6. The park closed at 10. We left at 9:45. We did nothing but 30 minutes in Oktoberfest, because that's all. 30 to 45 minutes is all it took us to get our food, eat it, and start hitting those houses. In all that time, we managed to get through 5 out of the 8 and that's with the exits. Okay, we got screwed on Saw though. Saw was the last one we went to, and Saw. They kept telling us it Saw literally took up 2 hours of our time in the express line. Okay, at one point, at about the hour and a half mark, the entire line just started yelling, "Refund! Refund!"
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
It was pretty goddamn funny. Their explanation, the girl at the end would come out like every 20 minutes and have a different reason, and most of them they kept saying where the pneumatics weren't working. Then we were hearing rumors that they were filming for something like a commercial or something, which is very possible because it's one of the 2 themed ones based on movies. They had a Conjuring one and a Saw one, which, as you know, Universal, that's their big thing, right? They're themed off of their existing properties, and it's great. Yeah, you got a Killer Clowns one, whatever the new movies are from Universal they have, there's always something great, right? These guys have really the first time Great Adventures not done their own, like the Bloodshed or the Manor, like they did a movie themed one. We went in Conjuring first because we figured Conjuring and Saw were going to be the 2 worst ones.
And
Saw
Conjuring was open during the day.
Conjuring's open during the day, so it opened at 4. Saw's at night. It was still light when we got through like the first 2. So we were aiming for all the daytime ones before the dark. We got through like 3, no problem. We got to Conjuring. Conjuring, great. We absolutely loved it. We thought it was really good. Very themed to the movies in a good way. Had like when you first walk in, also had like kind of a host that's telling you like, don't look at the Annabella doll. She's gonna come after you, like right out of the movie. Had the life-size Annabella doll and that. Very well done. We highly enjoyed Conjuring. The other ones, the typical ones that they always have, as always, the Manor is our favorite. It's a really good one. There's 2 in the Right Stuff area. It's the one that's actually in the Right Stuff area, as opposed to into like the gift shop area where Scotty was stuck when he did his games time in that little flight simulator thing.
Well, Steve, that's my question. How are these set up and constructed? Are these temporary buildings? Are they setting them up inside existing buildings?
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
They just outdoor mazes? What are these things like? They weren't there when I was last there for Fright Fest.
So one of them is built inside the laser tag building over near Big Wheel. One is built over in the 150 area that is their own unique building that they build for it. We didn't get through it this year. That one is like a post-apocalyptic one. That's one that we didn't make it to, which was okay last year. And it had a big line, so we were okay missing that one. Obviously we wanted to get them on, but all of them we didn't. That seems to be honestly the only one that's like built for it. Last year or the year before, I forget which year we went, but they had one built right under the log flume, right under the back area where the gates are over near Lift 1. That was fantastic. It was cool. All outdoors. It was really cool, really well done. Wide, lots of hidden stuff in there, and it was a nighttime one, obviously, because no roof, right? So they want it to be dark. That one we didn't have this year, but it was fantastic. The Saw one was in a building, but I don't remember what was there. So it was definitely in an existing building. Conjuring was right next to Green Lantern in an existing building. It looked like it was in maybe like like boxes that they had, like storage boxes or something. They converted into like the building. 2 were in the right stuff, and 1 is in the old studio. The games area where the old studio that we talked about on the last episode was, the recording studio, the little games area there, 4 tents. 1's in that tent. That's a 3D clown one, which is okay, but it kind of sucks because Alyssa has like an eye issue, so 3D doesn't work, which a lot of people, that's the thing. And it was really reliant on the 3D. So that kind of sucked because you're really relying on a gimmick that doesn't work for everybody. But the clowns were cool. There is a guy outside. There are 2 people outside that, would like let you in. They're usually themed. This guy had like a hand balloon thing that he would toss, and he was so good at it, he would get it like within an inch of your face. And you think he's going to hit you, and then you want to hit him, and he never did. Never hit anybody. The guy was like really good. So it was kind of fun. The Saw one was the only one we had a problem with. 2-hour line, constantly, because it wasn't moving, because they constantly kept saying it shut down. We never got a true reason why. I can tell you right now, pneumatics was a fucking lie, because when we got in there, it was a bunch of like Saw-themed traps done like bad cosplay. When I go to Dragon Con, the Saw stuff I saw in there, or when I go to horror cons where they actually have the actual like reproductions of the Saw traps, killed what GA did in the Saw. I don't know how they got that franchise to do this one, because it was really, really fucking bad. Like, one was literally, if you remember, I think it was like, there's so many guys. I mean, there's 10 Saw movies. I think it was the 3rd or the 4th movie. There's one where one of the traps was a drug addict girl, and there was like a lot of needles. So one of their traps was literally a box where you can look in the glass. It's a girl's head through in the box, and there's nothing but hypodermic needles popped up around her. That's it. That's the trap. There's no needle going in or anything. There's just needles dropped around her head through the box. It was really lame. The actual cool Saw traps like that, they didn't look good. It was fast. For a 2-hour line, we were probably out of it in under 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Scott, am I wrong? It was probably that fast, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The actors just, all they kept saying is, why aren't you helping me? Everyone, the same exact thing. Look at me. Why aren't you helping me? And we're like, you got what you deserved. This sucks.
2 hours. 2 hours for that, Mike. 2 hours for anything when you have an exit pass. Like,
yeah, it was the most disappointing ending to what was a lot of fun before it, especially since we didn't even get through any other ones. Like, that was it. At that point, it was 9:45, so we wanted to get to the parking lot to try to avoid the rush out because it was so packed. We knew that line going out of the parking lot was going to be a nightmare, and it was pretty bad. But, yeah, I mean, look, as far as the houses go, I don't want to shit on them all, because the ones that we did go in outside of Saw were actually very fun. They were absolutely, Alyssa's never done haunted houses. So she's a teenager who's afraid of them, never done them. First one, eyes covered the whole time. By the 3rd one, she was keeping her eyes open. She had a blast. Except Saw, right? Guys, the only one she didn't like.
Yeah, but she wasn't too disappointed because she just did her homework the whole time in line. So she was. That
is true. In a 2-hour line. So first of all, Scott's daughter is probably smarter than all of us combined, and that's sadly not a joke.
Well, that's not saying much.
Yeah, exactly.
She's super fucking smart, though, and super musically talented. So while we're online at night, she is taking tests. Like 100 tests on her phone. And I'm just dying. So I'm like, Jesus, this is never me. I would never. So, I mean, overall, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. I'm disappointed because I don't have a chance to go back, so I'm not even gonna get to see the other ones. And I paid for an express pass, thinking I could easily. I mean, I'm not gonna joke. When I paid, I did the same thing the last time we went, and we knocked them out in like an hour and a half. So I don't know. I guess it's just getting really bigger than its bridges. I don't know.
That's the thing. They start to oversell them. Yeah, there was one year where, I mean, the Express Pass at Universal costs more than the friggin' ticket to get in. You know what I mean? Like, so you need to get value out of that. Like, what the hell are you doing it for, And there was like one house that I think was 30 minutes, maybe even a little long. It felt like an eternity, though, because the rest of them are anywhere from no time to 10 minutes usually, And, I mean, to spend that much money, that's what you expect. But 2 hours, my God, that's the whole reason you get it.
Yeah.
So no more hayride though at night.
No, that's been gone forever.
For the kids.
Nope,
that was the best part.
Yeah, a lot of people are posting that online too. If they missed a hayride, they remember the first year and how big it was. And while they remember being annoyed like year 4 or 5 when the lines were insane, they still had such a good time on it and blah blah blah. But that's gone. Yeah, I think that's maybe because of the staffing though. Even though 4-Star Entertainment staffed that while we were there, I think everything is a staffing issue for them. And that leads me into the next section, which is the boardwalk area always looks good during the Fright Fest. It's actually very well done. And, you know, when you think about it, so Boardwalk now has 2 haunted houses right there in the right stuff. Go up to where Green Lantern and Superman are, and now they have the Conjuring one right there as well. So they also have a freak show this year, which we didn't get to see any of the show stuff at all, which sucks because last year we saw one in the the theater over near in 150, and it was great. You know, I was hoping to see the freak show. It's like a 15-minute thing. Didn't get to see it, but it's right there in the middle of Game Square. Their staffing is so bad. I think I saw 3 people staffing the games, even though some of them were open. I didn't see an attendant there, which was bizarre. The main boardwalk area, like where Milk Can was, so you have your row of games here, and then your center games. The row of games here, right next to the right stuff, they literally just put drop downs over them to make it look like there was never anything there. So that they don't have to open the games. Like the games don't look like they even existed there. And there was only like 3 games there on that whole side. And I don't think they were even open. Like I don't think anyone was even really running them. The walk-in though, from the carousel to that area, those first few games you see, those were open, and man, those were pretty cool. I have to say, they put a lot of Halloween themed stuff in there. I put a lot of the pictures up on our Facebook page. They had like scary pumpkins that were like really big, you know, like kind of cool.
The Milk Can prize.
The Milk Can prize was bananas. Now, I'm
literally bananas.
Just going through the remaining stock.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at doing this, but I'm going to try to share my screen. Give me a second. Let's see if I can do this.
I love it when he tries to do technical stuff. It's like watching my dad try to program a VCR.
It really is horrible, man. I'm so bad at this. Hold on. Anyway, but while I'm trying to do this, so they have these bananas, and they're on our Facebook page. They're life-size bananas. Now, non-Halloween themed ones were basically animals. They have like a wolf one, a sloth one, you know, a kangaroo one. And they're pretty badass. I literally looked at them. I was like, I want the wolf one. And so I think it's the equivalent to their Tweeties because people had them. Like, just remember in the old days when it was nothing but Tweeties everywhere? This time it was all bananas. Just life-size bananas walking around. They also, I don't know where the hell they had these, but mind you, we didn't hit the whole park. We only got to hit the, Oktoberfest, the haunted houses, and that killed the rest of our night. Somewhere along the line, they had other games where they had Halloween-themed ones because we saw witch ones and a black hat one, and they were cool as well because they were like bananas with like orange instead. So they were absolutely Halloween-themed, pretty badass. I dug the bananas. I dug their theming there. I thought they were kind of cool. They had like the balls. They also had spider balls. So they look like big-ass spiders with legs coming out of them. They're pretty cool. I remember some of the they had a witch one, a ghost one, a skeleton one, and I think a black cat one for Halloween. So that was kind of neat. Positive that's got to be their Tweeties right now, though. It looks like that is their one big prize from everything I saw walking around. Our friend Chris Bassett just posted in there. Any opinions on the Curse of Blackbeard's Bounty where Lady of Lake was? We don't know. We didn't get to see it. I mean, when I say all we got to see was running from haunted house line to haunted house line once we hit Oktoberfest and ate dinner, that was it. We didn't get to see much. I will say one of the things they did that was kind of cool, though, is they had the blood fountain. So the main fountain is a blood fountain, and it looked fantastic, which it has for years. Around it, they actually cordoned it off. So they had like another wall around the fountain. So there's an inner area of about 2 feet. And at night, they had actors in there, atmospheric characters in there with like their chainsaws and all that. That was pretty cool. So people who want to like lean or sit around the fountain like they normally do or say meet at the fountain were forced to see like the atmosphere characters. And I was like, all right, that's cool. They did that. That's definitely a neat little add in there. Trying to think anything else I could think of about Fright Fest myself.
How was just the overall theming and decoration and all that?
I was gonna say, do they have the scare zones like outside the houses too?
Yep. Yep. They do. So they broke it down this year. So they have 18 haunted attractions, and they broke it out into scare zones. Okay, they broke it out into they say rides in the dark, but who gives a shit? I mean, that's just going on a ride in the dark. I don't even know why they make that a big deal. They broke it down to scare zones again, like they did, and then they broke it down to the haunted attractions, and that's kind of how Fright Fest is broken out. The ones we got to see, just like the last time we went, well done. I thought they did a really good job. The theming always looks good.
They still got the cobwebs everywhere.
Nope, they got rid of those, thankfully.
They don't have the cobwebs anymore. They learned. Yeah, we were the only suckers to do that. They learned. There's no more cobwebs, but what they do have looks really good. Like it's more like life-size, like, creatures and stuff like that all over the place. I mean, they had one that was, I don't remember what the hell it was, but they had a massive one in front of Big Wheel that was really, really cool. They have a ton of them all around the Oktoberfest area. Everything around the front gate is like well done.
Barry was commenting on the cheesecloth cobwebs that we had to make with them.
I have a feeling the fire marshal realized what was going on and said, "Stop it."
Same type of thing with the hayride too. Like, besides even staffing, it was like, "Hey, you want to drive?" I mean, it's like a product. Like, even though it was the '90s, it was like a throwback from the '70s and '80s. Like,
right.
I can't imagine a major corporation being like, "Hey, Peluso, drive this." You know what I mean? With 50 people on the back, whatever.
Through crowded sidewalks.
You can't imagine that? We live that.
I know, but now it's like, there's the internet.
Like,
the internet would be like, look, this guy,
Time Warner owns the
he
place.
just learned in the parking lot how to drive stick on this tractor. Now he's driving people. Like, I don't know. I think they would frown upon it.
I remember it. We got the 30-minute crash course in the parking lot.
That was it.
And
That's how I learned. Man.
People
That's
to
how
you.
I learned.
I love it.
That's what all the screaming in that commercial in the beginning reminded me of.
Exactly. So good. Yeah, I'm pissed I only got to do that 2 years. That was one of the greatest, most fun things I think we ever did.
That was the best part of the season. Just
Absolutely.
chilling on that tractor all night, drinking hot cocoa, driving through the woods all around.
Oh, my God.
It was great for us.
Fun. Yeah.
Adventure Rivers would be closed. We'd be riding the tractors, except when it was raining. That sucked, but otherwise it was good.
Yeah. Did you guys see my screen?
Remember, you didn't even have to put the stupid uniform
Now
on.
I can.
Just wear jeans and that big black shroud.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Bananas.
That's bananas. Look how large those goddamn bananas are, man.
Oh, I thought they were bananas. They got like animals on them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're bananas with little animals hidden inside. And then for Halloween, they had like Halloween stuff hidden inside. So skeletons.
I don't get the concept, but hey, as long as it sells.
Dude, I was as thrown out as you are, but then I'm like, the sloth is pretty cool. I love the wolf. I'm like, all right, I get it. I
guess like in a banana suit.
You know what's funny? It feels like it's an anima thing I don't know. That's what it made me feel like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then this is the last thing I'll bring up on Fright Fest. I think we talked about this once, but did we ever talk about the coffin challenge? Do you guys remember this at all?
No.
I don't think we did.
So they did a coffin challenge, and unfortunately, Great Adventure is like one of the only parks that didn't do it. Like, obviously, all the other freaking parks did it except us, right? But this thing was so cool. I'll post a bunch of stuff on it. I don't remember it either, and I don't think I ever heard of it before. This girl, there's a group online, Great Adventure Connoisseurs on Facebook. This girl, Kathleen Salvador, posted earlier this month that 4 years ago I did a thing. I did the 30-hour coffin challenge at Six Flags. I'd applied a year before, but I wasn't picked. So you have to actually apply and be picked to do it. And it looks like it's only like 10 people that get to do it and that's it. And it goes overnight. And she said it's easily one of the most fun things I ever did in my life. I ate brains, picked out candy corn out of a jar full of cockroaches, was sleep deprived by the Baby Shark song and yacht rock music. And I did not win the grand prize of $600. But by coming in second place, I won passes, the haunted attraction fast passes, and a bunch of other stuff. And honestly, I just wanted to prove if I could do it, and I did it. So it was pretty cool. So she posted pictures of it, and I'll post them up with her name on it so people can, that way she gets credit for it. But then a lot of other people started talking about it too, and they said that basically it went away during COVID, but it started in one park, and then corporate loved it. and it was like kind of a test. And then they expanded it to a bunch of the parks. They also, part of the coffin challenge is they put you in a coffin. Okay. And when you got to see the pictures because it's so cool. When I post on the Facebook page, you'll be like, holy shit. They put you in a coffin and then you basically have to stay in it. And I think, you also do Fear Factor like challenges, if you remember that show. So that's what she was saying. She had to eat brains, pick out of a jar of cockroaches and all that kind of stuff. And the coffins are actual coffins with a tombstone above them with your name on it. So everyone that got picked had their own actual tombstone with their name on it. And she said that they ran a live stream on those parks, ran a live stream on their webpage where you could watch them like the whole time from beginning to end. And I was like, that is pretty goddamn cool. The whole idea of the Baby Shark song that she was talking about is after year 2, they were trying to do like things like more like MTV's A Challenge and Fear Factor, where they were trying to drive you nuts while they were doing the challenges. So they started apparently playing that Baby Shark song and some yacht rock music over and over in the background to drive them nuts while they were stuck in the coffins, which is pretty funny. I'll also post up the article from Six Flags itself because I actually found where they promoted it. And it's pretty cool. It's a 30-hour coffin challenge. So if you get picked, you're doing this thing for 30 hours if you want to try to win it, okay? And they detail it. A lot of the parks ended up doing it. It was Six Flags America, Six Flags Darien Park, Discovery Kingdom, Fiesta Texas, Frontier City. They say Great Adventure, but everyone else is saying Great Adventure didn't do it. So I don't know if that's true or not, but they did have it in their corporate one. So maybe they pulled out and didn't do it. I'm not sure. Magic Mountain, Mexico, New England, over Georgia, over Texas, St. Louis. That's a lot of effing parks that did it, before it finally went away because of COVID. It's pretty badass, man.
It sounds like a legal tame version. Did you hear of McCamey Manor? Like there was like a documentary about it and everything. This lunatic that just gets people to come and he tortures them. And,
I actually just watched the documentary. There's 2 documentaries. I watched one on Shudder years ago, and there's one on Hulu right now. I just
watched the one on Hulu. Yeah. Like it's not even scary. It's like, hey, I'm gonna pull your teeth out. We'll see if you're scared. I'll tell you now, I'm gonna not like that. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody pulling my teeth out.
Everyone that did these said that these were fun challenges.
Yeah,
that guy was a sadist. That guy is an absolute sadist. His whole point was to torture you and hook up with women.
It's also on torturing people, and people are for some reason going.
Because he lied and said he had that prize, but nobody. But as the one guy said, if he just thinks it's all up to him if he's going to say you succeeded or not. Right. So with the one guy that talked shit to him that made it through he said like 2 days, and then the guy's just like, all right, you're done, bye, you're out.
Yeah,
and the guy's like, what do you mean I'm out? Like I'm still in. He's like, no, you're out, and that's it. I'm not giving you anything.
Exactly. So, even workers bailed on that guy. He was just exactly a sadist.
They were selling him out.
Don't watch Bundy Manor though. It's a movie that's like kind of loosely, I think, based on it. Terrible movie. Terrible. After the documentary, we're all like, hey, let's watch this. It's like a movie about it, No, it's really bad acting, really bad writing, and even worse directing. It's terrible. Bundy Manor, don't watch it. Thank you.
Scott just put it in his queue.
So bad.
Here's another thing they did. You know what's funny? So I knew they did VIP tours at Six Flags. I did not realize how much they did them and what the extent they are now. Go on like the app or on the website. So they do VIP tours, and then they also do these Share to Scare tours. So the Share to Scare tours are like access to 2 RIP lounges, rest in peace lounges with a wristband, a buffet meal and unlimited soft drinks, a VIP tour with guide with express access to all available haunted attractions. And that means so you got the express pass and you have a guide, okay? And then exclusive reserved seating at the 2 of the shows, Dead Man's Parties and Unleashed. That one's $149 per person, $150 per person.
Wow.
Which I guess if you're looking for it to cover the food and the pass and all that, I guess maybe that one's okay. I don't know.
Does that include the price of admission, or is that on top of that?
I believe that includes the price of admission, but it does not actually state it here or not. But
it might
not. It does not.
I
take it back. It does not. It has an asterisk. If you look way at the bottom, valid park ticket required and must be purchased separately.
Oh,
not
yeah.
included.
Right.
I was going to say, most of the Disney things
Otherwise,
like that,
that was a
not
pretty cheap
include
deal.
admission. Yeah.
They have 3. Oh my God, they have more than that. They have so they have a $99 per person version. Then they have the one that I was saying, which is $149.99. Then they have a $329.99. Then they have a $449.99 and a $599.99.
Geez, what do you get for that? That's
So I'll go to that one. However, they also have add-ons to every one of these. For add-ons, and I guess this is more for like if a famous person goes to the park, for $50, you get a security person assigned to you the entire time. Somebody from security will be with you the entire time. Wow. They will not leave your side. You can have 2 tour guides and additional tour guides. The tours are for 8 guests each, okay, at $99.99 extra, okay? And if we just jump up, I actually pulled what each one has. Some of them have like the add-ons are simple, like, you know, the add-ons are like character meet and greets, blah, blah, blah. If you do like the $449, all paid attractions, you have front row seating. So that's Daredevil dives. You get all the paid attractions. I'm sorry. So Daredevil dives, slingshot, go-karts, extreme flight, all those ones that are the upcharges that me and Andy know so well, because Daredevil dive, those are all free. Those are all included in the package. So I see where the money's going. And then the big one, the $599. So you get, by the way, $599 per person. And I believe you have to have 8 people in your group. Okay. 8-hour guided tour. You get, this is good though. This is actually a good added. You get a 2024 platinum pass per person, not the diamond, just the platinum. We'll talk about passes next. Okay. So you're actually not getting the best season's pass, but you do get a season's pass with it. Okay. Right. You get preferred parking. That's also sort of a scam because now they have speedy parking. We'll talk about that next too. You get 1 meal, 1 snack, 1 dessert. Okay, that's for that day because this is basically for the day. You're getting the passes, but you're only getting this stuff for the day. You get unlimited soft drinks, front of the line ride access on all rides, regular rides, front of the line access to all Fright Fest attractions. You get a character meet and greet. All paid attractions are included. You get the Safari drive-through, which is daytime only, and then you also get 1 retail purchase voucher, good for $50 per person. So you can use that to buy anything you want at retail for up to $50. That is a $600 per person add-on, though.
Yeah, but that's really not too bad when you think about it, because you're not paying admission then because you're buying a season pass, which gets you in for the day.
By the way, that season pass
plus
though,
the parking
does not run anywhere near that cost.
but what is, I know, but the season pass and the parking, and then you get the $50 credit, so that must all add up to about $200, right?
Yeah.
So it's really costing you $400 if you want to make that like your first visit to the park, or you to get
want to make sure you hit all the
VIP
rides.
trip.
Yeah.
And
I agree. If you really want to take your family to a VIP,
you're going to go once a year. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're going once and it's like you want your family to have the most VIP, no wait on lines, front of everything. Yeah. You get on every single bonus thing they have, like the Daredevil dive. Yeah, I mean, you have this,
and then you still have the pass to go back and
like in compared to like Universal. It's terrible. You know what I mean? Because if you stay at Hard Rock or one of those hotels, you get the exit pass and you can do just about anything. So all you did is stay at the hotels, get your ticket, and you go up the exit at least one time. Compared to Disney, though, if you're into those rides just as much as Disney, it's about the same. I think it comes out to about $500-$600 a person, probably with no food or maybe a snack or something like that, because Disney's going to be more expensive. But I even thought about doing, like Andy said, like if you really want to have a great experience, you only have a day. It's the 8 people that always gets me, because it's not $600 a person if you don't have 8 people. It's going to be divided by whatever you got, and then it could be like $1,000 a person or whatever the case may be. Yeah, but not too bad though. Not too bad if you only have one day and you got to hit it all. You know.
Agreed. I looked up, and it's funny because they offer these VIP things. A lot of the parks as a regular thing, not just like a seasonal thing for like Fright Fest. They offer them. SeaWorld advertised in June of this year that they are also offering an ultimate VIP tour. It's highly tailored to each of their theme parks. So each one has its own unique thing depending on what they have available at that theme park for SeaWorld. Their prices start at $499. It looks like they run to about $799. Theirs, though, are pretty fucking cool, I have to be honest.
Man, for $7.99, I want to swim with Shamu.
You may not want to. Walking with you.
Hold on. Let me just say a note why I thought it was cool. Experiences range, SeaWorld said, but tourgoers can have interactions with stingrays, dolphins, sea lions, penguins. At SeaWorld Orlando, tour guests will be able to meet and feed a walrus. In San Antonio, your area of the wood, they can swim with the sea lions and interact directly with the penguins. In San Diego, they can enjoy an in-water interaction with beluga whales.
Wow.
Cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
All right, one's got to get on a coaster with me, though. I need a penguin on a coaster and like a photo like.
Penguin will be sitting there, damn Peluso, making me go on this thing.
Right? Exactly. I paid good money. Get in.
I love it. Scott, before we jump off the Fright Fest stuff and go into the seasons past stuff, any final words from you, since you obviously won as well?
No, I'm gonna just share your collective disappointment in Saw, but otherwise, all in all, it was a pretty good time.
Well, what was your favorite house, Scott?
Definitely The Conjuring. That was well done. That was
it sounds good. It sounds really
they
good.
dedicated plenty of people. It was decorated well, and it was worth it.
Nice. Do they do Halloween shows there too? I know Universal had Halloween shows as well.
They do.
Yeah.
They have them. We didn't get to them, but they definitely have them. And last year they had some pretty good ones, and it looks like this year they did too. We just didn't get on it to any of them. We didn't have time.
Yeah, Steve was disappointed he didn't get to watch the freak show, but I was like, Steve, when we worked at the park, we had it every day. It's like
He's like, that was all of us and our fellow employees. I'm like, you're totally right. You're absolutely right. You didn't say that. You're totally right. All right, so you remember last year when we talked about seasons passes, what a fucking fiasco it was? Remember we tried to break it down and none of us could figure it out?
We couldn't even figure out what the hell. Yeah.
It was all those options and add-ons. It was unfucking believably ridiculous and convoluted. It was silly as shit. Well, this year they definitely took the feedback in, because I got to say this year it's much more pleasant. They basically, it looks like there's simply 3 passes. Okay. You get your standard seasons pass at $69. Okay. And that's your platinum pass. That's what Scott got. Okay. That's unlimited visits and parking to Six Flags Great Adventure and Wild Safari and Hurricane Harbor, all 3. Okay. That is for whenever you purchase it. So if you purchase it this year, it's for the remainder of this year and all of 2024, including the holidays. It ends in technically January of 2025, and that's when their other Diamond Pass ends as well. So unlike last year, where this kind of annoyed me, when we went to Fright Fest last year, I renewed my season's pass. I didn't get to go at all this year until Fright Fest. My season's pass expired 1 week before I got to go. So I basically paid for a season's pass last year, which I believe was $80, but I got it on a discount because I renewed it in the park, and they always make these offers in the park. But if you remember, this pissed me off too last year. When I did that, it was during one of those ultimate sales. This is the biggest sale we're having this year. You're not going to have another one. A lot of other efforts, because 2 weeks later, they had one at a better price than what I paid for. 3 weeks or a month after that, they had one that was even lower than it. And I was so pissed off about it. I was like, whatever. This is such a fiasco of season passes. I'm not even going to bother talking about it. Like, it's just silliness. This year, in September, they had the same thing where they said, this is going to be our biggest sale ever, blah, 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 blah. Super cheap, super cheap. You're never going to get it cheaper than this, blah, 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 right? And it expires September 17th, so get it now. They were not lying. I got the Diamond Pass, okay? And I got it for $110, and that is not what it normally costs, all right? The Diamond Pass, okay, gets you unlimited access to every Six Flags theme park and water park, period. Everyone. I go visit you, Andy, next year, I'm in. I go to any park I want. Both passes give you preferred parking. Preferred parking is a scam. We'll talk about that. I'm sorry, that's not true. Scott's Pass Platinum gives him general parking. Mine gets preferred parking. But this is a fucking scam now, because they've now added speedy parking. And that makes preferred parking garbage. Even though it's a buy-up, and you can buy that on its own as an add-on, but it comes with my pass because I have the ultimate Diamond Pass, right? Scam. When we went, my Diamond Pass was I already purchased it. So when we went 2 weeks ago, you could put everything on the app, right? So I just show my app at the thing. They go, okay, you go this way. Speedy Pass is going that way. I'm going this way. Speed Pass is another buy-up now, right? They set me over the fucking screen machine where the goddamn security gate is, and that's where they parked me. That's preferred parking. It took me like 5.5 minutes to walk over the goddamn front gate and get in. I was not happy. I was really pissed off about that. They did update it though, so that it's valid all through this year, all through next year. You to get unlimited access to the Safari. You get 4 skip the line passes with mine. Scott on the Platinum Pass gets 1 skip the line pass. Scott
for the season or for per visit?
Season. For the season, not per visit. I get 5 specialty rate tickets. I don't know what the fuck that is. Scott gets 2. We haven't figured that out. I am supposed to have a VIP entrance. I don't know where that is. I have to figure it out. I obviously did not go into it this time because I don't know where it is. And I didn't even know I had that until I was prepping for the podcast. So it's funny. That was a bonus I didn't even know. I do get one of those drink bottles that you use that, are like the free things you only get if you have the ultimate pass. I get one of those. That I didn't want to carry it. So I was like, can I just get that when I come back? Like Holiday in the Park, I say you can get it anytime you want. I'm like, all right, cool. But I do get a nice little drink bottle. I get 50% weekday cabana discounts. I don't know what the hell where the cabana is, though. I have to look that up.
I think it's in a water
Hurricane Harbor.
I think it is, and that might be why I don't know, because I've never been in Hurricane Harbor. So I don't know. I get 50% season the Flash Pass. I get if I want to buy a Flash Pass, I get a 50% discount off of that for entry to the front line to the rides. I get I do get that VIP lounge, baby. That VIP best of the West, baby. I get that. Scott's gonna have to pay when we go together because he does not get that. And I get VIP lounge and water park seating. So there must be some type of bonus thing at the water park too. Scott got his Platinum Pass. Scott, you said you did or didn't get it during the discount time, because if you didn't, you paid $105. If you did, you paid like $60.
Yeah, I did not. I got a discount pass. I paid like $80 for it though.
Okay, so they gave you in the middle, so that's fine. Mine typically would be $200, and I basically paid $110, which to me, all right, Peluso, we talked about this. If I wanted to go, just me and you, and we wanted to go to Universal, and we wanted to get a fast pass, we're looking at $500.
It's a lot. It's a real lot. Yeah.
I just paid $110 for all that shit I said I got, and I can go to every single park for the next year and a quarter.
Wow.
That's goddamn good deal. I have to say, they've definitely improved on the season passes. I have no complaints about this, but I do about that fucking preferred parking, because nothing will piss me off more than handing in my showing them my thing at the toll booth, right? They go, oh, yep, you got preferred parking. You go in that line. And then they hand me an ad to buy upgrade to speedy parking.
So great.
Parking. Why are you telling me to upgrade to speedy parking, you motherfuckers? I was so
There's always an upgrade.
Oh my God, it pissed me off so bad. I don't know if you can see it, but they literally gave me this when I was going through. And it has a barcode so I could do it right away. I'm like, do this right away. God damn it. I was so mad, dude.
What do you want?
Somebody actually posted online, we have a diamond pass and preferred parking. When we got to the park, they said they do not honor preferred parking when it's crowded. That is true. I looked into that. If it's crowded, they could tell you your preferred parking doesn't count, which is technically what they did to me. They didn't say it to me, but that's what they did. They just basically told you, go to Joe Schlo parking over there, and that's it. And so this person was bitching, was like, what the F is the point in me paying for this? Because that person didn't get a diamond pass. They upgraded to it. So they paid like the $60 to get the preferred parking or whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember. But it's like, and then they get screwed anyway and get stuck parking over near the goddamn gate like I did. That's some scammy shit, man. I was like, the whole speeding part, I was already mad when I pulled in right past the sign, because immediately you see a special lane for speedy parking. And they make such a big deal out of it. They're like, it was packed. So a lot of people have purchased this very clearly because it had a line. But apparently, all you do is you go in and it has just a sensor and you just show your thing and gate opens and you go and park where you want to park, which is the A lot that we used to, the good lots, not the crap lots,
You get the leave speedy, or is it just park speedy? Because leave speedy, they might have me.
That's an extra upcharge.
No, there's no speedy exit. You're still screwed on the exit. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. That's funny.
Yeah. They hold up the rest of the line. Wait, we have a speedy.
Yeah, right.
That was a good point. I didn't think about that. Otherwise, I got to say, kudos to them for shit on them all over about the parking stuff. I think that's bullshit. And I understand that's just a cash grab. However, outside of that individual cash grab, the pass system, way better. Go back to the simplified 3, basically 2 passes. They make sense on what you're getting and the thing. It's clearly outlined on what you're getting, even though I don't understand half my benefits because I'm an old stupid man. But it's like, otherwise, they are clearly outlined and I can figure it all out. So I'm like, way better, and kudos over the passes. Also, like I said, Andy, I come visit you next year. We go to that park. We go to whichever park we want to go to. I ain't got to pay, so I'm happy about that too.
Years ago, that's how I thought all the passes were. You guys,
I thought so too.
They worked for all the parks.
But you know what? I was
there
never
weren't
sure
as
about
many
that.
back then, but.
Well, we as employees were always allowed free entrance to any park, any Six Flags park, and I didn't know if that accounted for seasons passes with guests. I don't know.
Also, at one time there were far fewer. Now there's like a lot.
There's
a lot, and I think it was still probably
there was like
you had to have the gold pass at the time probably to do it, but.
That's true. But Peluso, to your point, even though half those parks I just named on the Coffin Challenge from years ago, I don't even know half those fucking parks. No, I was like, what are these parks? So, I've done that though before. Like, and I think I might have done that like 5 or 6 episodes ago, where I went onto the Six Flags Wikia to see what the current parks were, and it was like 40 parks that were like definitely local attraction parks I've never heard of.
Yeah, like Six Flags over Bayonne.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? You know what I mean? Like you were rattling them
Six
off,
Flags
man.
Staten
Des
Island.
Moines. Where the hell are these?
I don't want to piss any of our Staten Island listeners, but oh my God, would you ever go to that?
Nice.
One thing I will say, all right, so let's delve into the 50th anniversary stuff. The one thing I will say is that they COVID shut down self drive-through in the Safari. Then they got smart and they reopened it a couple years ago. If you want to do it again, you got to go before the Safari shuts down for the year in November, because come next year, that's gone again. No more self-drive through the Safari. You have to go through the tour bus again with everybody else. And honestly, I won't go through it next year. Even with the glamping bullshit, I might do that because my girlfriend thinks, my girlfriend's an animal lover. She's a vet tech. We love going through the Safari. I might do the glamping thing just to see what it's about. Honestly, more for fodder for this podcast than really, and because she'll probably enjoy it. But I will not go on that fucking tour bus. That to me is like, that's not how I want to go through our Safari. Like, as a kid, my favorite thing was going through with my parents and then with my friends. And then, when we were employees, a lot of times I went through with like some of my girlfriends, like families and everything. And like, those were fun. Those are great memories to me. Now, in the last 2 years, me and my current lady, we've gone through quite a few times and it's always awesome. Like, our own pace, we enjoy it, we love it.
Yeah.
We have little snackies in the car. We're all happy, Now it's like I don't want to be on a bus. I don't want to have to go somewhere, park, get on a fucking tour bus with a bunch of other people, listening to them chatter. Yeah. Oh my God, look at the giraffe, look at the rhino pooping. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to deal with it.
The one cool thing is that it's open air. Like the trucks are open, so you can kind of just
you can smell the poop. I'd rather my air conditioning, Scotty. Also, in the 100-degree middle of the summer weather, I don't want that. I want my AC. I don't want that.
Like I'm used to the one in Animal Kingdom, but that's only like 30 minutes or less, and I'm used to it. Like we're also used to just driving through the Safari, like you said, air conditioning because it's summertime. I don't go to Disney in the summer,
exactly.
It's cooler out. Yeah, and it's much cooler too.
I'm a little bummed. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bummed by it. We're definitely going to make an attempt to get down there, though, because I think it closes. The Safari stays open longer than the park. So Fright Fest and everything and Oktoberfest and all that end at the end of this month. But the Safari's generally open weekdays. Even when the park's not open, the Safari is open. And why wouldn't it be? Like, we've talked about this. It only takes, 2 employees to man the front and end gate. And then the Safari people, like that's it.
The animals got to be fed and taken care of.
Absolutely. So during the weekdays, it's open in the day, and so that stays open until I think Thanksgiving, like right before Thanksgiving is I think the end date. I have it written down somewhere, but I don't know which stack of these papers it's in. But I know it's near the end of November, so we're definitely going to make a point of going down there before it closes and drive through one more time. But I'm like, a little disappointing, but I just wanted to bring it up because anyone that does want to do it, get it in now, because after that, you got to go on a tour bus, and that's going to be that. The other thing, as we're talking about changes for next year, most of them are positive with the 50th anniversary, and we have talked about it a little bit, but this is kind of a perfect time to revisit it and add some color commentary because we know a little more about what's going on. Sadly, we've heard through a lot of people that the stage has completely collapsed in the arena. And then we've also heard that the arena is gone. Like they're demolishing it. It's going away. I think it was Brian Queenan that said that when he went like last week or the week before, they were riding the runaway train and they could see it getting ready to be demolished. So that I'm assuming he means like there was wrecking trucks and stuff out there like ready to go. So that kind of bums me out. I have so many good memories of fucking watching concerts on Live 2, working concerts for my cousin, going to concerts with my family. And then, you know, I did a little bit, it got me nostalgic. So I started doing some research on like what concerts did they have there that I never knew of. The only one that actually blew me away, I think I pretty much knew most of the people that played there, you know, like Sha-Na-Na and Bowser and the Stingrays and the Beach Boys, like all the big names that played there, I kind of knew.
Kool and the Gang.
Kool and the Gang.
Every year.
You know, we've talked New Kids in the Block and Tiffany to death, like, you know, all those big ones, you know, all that. I did not.
Cheap Trick was always my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't know this one, though. June 6, 1980, the fucking Ramones played at the fucking arena. Oh, wow. Holy shit, I wish I was there and saw that. And there's a picture of it. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's so freaking cool. I had no idea the Ramones played there. That kind of blew me away. But then that also made me look up, like, I remember the thing, and I don't think we've ever talked about this, but do you remember that they banned all heavy metal concerts at one point and said, we're never again? You remember?
Yeah, I remember
that. Was because
we saw Quiet Riot there.
We saw Quiet Riot. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we were there. In our time, it was still okay. It was in 2012 that they imposed the ban on all future metal theme shows because Ronnie Rack, lead singer of Falling in Reverse, injured 2 fans because he threw the microphone stands at the fucking audience like an idiot. Cracked 2 people, and that was it. They said, okay, we're done. We're never doing it again. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Racky injured 2 fans in the audience after hurling 3 microphone stands off the stage. And what's even crazier is if you go on YouTube, you can see it. There, it's captured. Wow. It's on YouTube. So I actually watched him do it, and I was like, "Get the hell out of here!" Yeah, it was during the drug in me is you song, and yeah, he basically threw him and then said, "Thank you, good night."
It's a good thing they didn't have 4 mic stands on the stage.
I know, right?
Yeah,
not more lawsuits, right? That's insane, though. But that one made me laugh. All right, so let's talk about some of the changes. We already talked about they're gonna get a Flash vertical velocity, you know, coaster. I mean, we all know it in the short amount of time they got it. It's not anything being custom made for them, so it sounds cool, but I'm not even gonna go into it because, you know, it's like they're gonna get a coaster to do it. It's cool they're getting a coaster, fine. The Safari Off-Road Adventure returns. No shit. That's what we were just talking about. That's because they're not allowing you to drive through anymore. So I'm not happy about that in any way.
Right.
The luxury safari experience. I will say the picture they put up for the glamping tents is no fucking way what they're going to have, though. I feel like this is false advertising. If it is, I'm going to eat my shit and go back and say I'm an idiot and they are the best in the world because it looks like a luxury like cabana canvas tent with a restaurant in it, but I have a feeling that's the restaurant because they're saying they're going to put a restaurant and a spa there. I have a feeling that is not the tent.
That's the restaurant.
I think it's the restaurant. The tents, all they're advertising is you get a luxury canvas tent, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so what does luxury mean?
I don't know because the whole glamping thing always throws me away a little bit. Like, because I'm always like, your version of glamping is probably very different than me and my girlfriend's version of glamping. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. They are doing we talked about this, guests become a part of the adventure leading up to the 50th anniversary celebration. Guests will be invited to become part of the adventure with the purchase of an anniversary brick and keepsake. These bricks will adorn a new pathway located at the theme park's original entrance. I will have you all know, Merry Christmas. We do have our own brick going up with the podcast and all 4 of our.
Oh, I thought we were chipping in.
Yeah.
That's my Christmas present to you guys.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's great. Wow.
However, they also say, and you can have a keepsake. they do not mention the keepsake is an upcharge. What a surprise! What the upcharge is you can buy an identical brick and have it for yourself. So Merry Christmas twice. I don't know when the fuck we're getting it, but I got a brick for us each too, so we each will get one of the bricks as well.
Wow.
So if they never take it away, me and Andy are permanently in that park because I guarantee they never changed the wood on the log flume where we carved their names and all kinds of shit in.
Well, Steve, that's to me the most interesting thing on that list of 50-year anniversary things are the improvements to the log flume. So, what is your wish list for the log flume? What do you want to see
Well, Andy,
for the 50th anniversary?
Andy, it's funny you say that. I know Six Flags, and I know what Six Flags is going to do. What Six Flags is going to do is they're going to put a paint job on it, put a paint job on the all the little logs, and that's it. I don't think we're getting anything else. Honestly, I don't. My wish list on it, I don't even know what they could do to make it better, except honestly that. I mean, really refurbish to make it look like it originally was. If it was my actual wish list, nobody else but me and you even knows what the fuck this is. Actually invest in ripping up the goddamn reservoir and redoing the sprinklers and all the fountains that actually were originally there.
The Cascade fountains.
The Cascade fountains, every fountain, the Cascades. That would be awesome, what they had in the original year. Never going to get it. But I would love if they did that. I think that'd be amazing. That would be my wish list. Outside of that, just make it look nice like the first year, and I'd be happy right there. You know what I mean? But it's funny you bring that up because Six Flags, again, your fucking park just kicks our park's ass. It drives me nuts. Six Flags Fiesta Texas continues to invest in a guest experience and create a dynamic collection of multi-generational attractions, blah, 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 blah. Here's what they're doing. Six Flags Fiesta Texas is, first of all, 3 brand new attractions. Cyborg Ride, Shazam Tower of Eternity, Metropolis Transit Authority. That's on top of all the other DC stuff. They are going all in for DC stuff. They are literally what we used to be. They are like superhero heavy, everything themed to it, and it sounds amazing. All of it sounds amazing, but that's not the one that really got me. This is the one that got me. Now that's the Fiesta. World's longest log flume ride set to open at Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington in 2024. In the park's Spain section, the log flume ride will be revamped into a new El Rio Lento, which Six Flags is billing as the world's longest log flume. The family-friendly ride will feature a new lift hill, 2 big drops, including a giant steep nosedive at the end of the river to add to the fun. They're saying that this will be the absolute longest log flume ride ever, like in all parks, period. So that's their log flume rebuild. Do you think we're getting that?
That sounds awesome.
And what bums me out is I'm like, are we getting that? Is that what our log flume's getting? Because you know it's not. But I'm like, God damn it! Why? Like I was so excited that we were gonna get our favorite, like my favorite ride, because that's the ride I was a lead on, revamped. And then I read this article. I'm like, oh. You know?
No, they'll get paint, like you said, new carpeting in the station. Maybe they'll fix the water wheel.
They'll probably just change the water.
I think you do carpeting. I think you're just going to get anti-skid paint. I don't even think you're getting carpeting in that sucker.
Oh, yeah, you know, you're right. I think they did take the carpeting out.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's cheaper, right? Yeah. So, it's a good question, though. It was a great lead-in because I know you didn't know about that log flume update. So that's perfect. The other thing that they are doing that they're not making a big deal of, though, is the big wheel's been closed because they're supposedly redoing all the lighting in the big wheel. And that, first of all, if what I heard, and I believe this, knowing them, is true, they still have the old German lighting. Like just like the carousel, which was originally from Germany, one of those original carousels, where they still have to buy the parts, the original parts, like from Germany, pay all that fucking money for any replacements and everything. And remember,
it's all fluorescent.
Bingo. So they're supposedly, we think, going to full LED. And I think we talked about this a little bit, but if they go to LED, that would be amazing. First of all, the big wheel will look so cool when you walk in. Second of all, when they do those LED lights, Now they have the ability to put messages on them and stuff, patterns on them. For Christmas, they're going to have green and red lighting. For Halloween, they're going to have orange and black like lighting. You know what I mean? Like fluorescent black so it shows, you know, or even black light lighting. The shit they can do with LEDs now on these rides is insane. And also, it will then it'll actually in the long run save them money because they want to keep replacing all those fucking bulbs. It doesn't work like that anymore. Right. So there's a massive, and it won't look bad because the replacement for those is so much easier. You know what I mean? And it won't be like where whole sections are out, which is what we've always dealt with. So I have a lot of hope on honestly, I have more hope on the big wheel than I do on the log flume because I really do think log flume is just going to be a paint job. I don't think we're going to get much more out of that, but big wheel, I think that might be pretty impressive. I'm hoping that, you know, they do something on that to make it. So we'll see. Everything else, the only other thing, let's see, link flume, blog flume. Yeah, that's it. I don't think I have anything else about that. I mean, you guys, I mean, I know we've like discussed this at death, but anything about the 40th or any of those announcements that like piques your guys' interest or you're really looking forward to outside of what we talked about?
I don't think so. I'm looking forward to seeing what they actually do with the log flume because I think it'll be hysterical. But other than that, no.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to refurbish the Buccaneer.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was your best ride, so you know.
That's right.
They did do one thing, and I did get this, and I do like it. So you can upgrade to they have the Magic Photo Service is what they're adding. So remember this year they had no photos. Period. No photos. You go on rides, you don't get your photo taken anymore. Like they had no service. They had that whole fucking problem where it fell out. They never got a service. I don't think they ever got a service in. I know they were saying they might have one by the middle of the year. I don't think, or at least I never heard that they did. However, for next year they do, and it's cool. It's a Magic Photo Service. You do a buy up. I got it with my pass for like nothing because everything was so cheap when I did redo my pass and get the Diamond Pass. I think I paid $25 for it. Any ride or attraction that takes a photo in the park, I now get for free. That's it. I paid for the pass. I get it all year. Period. And that goes for every park. So any of the parks I go to visit you, Andy. They have things you ain't got to pay because I get it. So what happens is when you go on, you get a number assigned to you, and then I log into a website and I put it in, and it immediately brings a digital photo up. Because in this day and age, no one even needs to have a hard copy photo anymore. It's all digital anyway, right? So they don't print it out for you. The photo gets taken, you get the number, and then you can do it on your phone if you want. You bring it, you go to the webpage, you put that number in. You put in your telephone, and this is a key thing, though. Whatever you register, whatever number you telephone, like what telephone number you register in, you have to use that one. If you try to use anything else, or you put another number in, it ain't gonna work. So you put in your registered telephone number, and bing, you got the photo. That's it. You save it right to your phone, and you're done. Or your laptop, you're done. So that's kind of cool because every time we go, any attraction, anything that has that photo opportunity, I get it for free. So, not free. I mean, I paid for the pass, but the pass, like 25 or whatever bucks I paid for it, completely worth it to me. Honestly, when I go to Great Adventure, I don't even buy those anymore because I don't ride the rides as often as I used to. But when I go with my family, it'd be nice to have those photos. You know what I mean? That once for Blue Moon, I'll buy them. But I'm always like, $20 for a photo. You know? I'm like, somebody's wait down there and take a photo while we're on the ride. You know? So
when we go, I have a bunch of photos that I take just of the monitor where they put up the
That's what I was going to
they all
say.
have a big watermark on them.
At Disney, I take the watermark photos usually. You know,
I have seen people do that. I have absolutely seen people do that. So that's fucking hysterical. I have seen people walk up and go, click, bye. Yeah. That's great. All right. Let's jump into our entertainment game that we normally do. I'll kick it off. It's Halloween season. Mine are pretty easy. So my first one, both of mine are not technically theme parks. They're more carnivals. But they're both, one's a permanent they're both permanent. One's a traveling carnival, one's a permanent carnival. So my first one is Freaks, the movie. 1932, directed by Todd Browning. Classic movie for the line, one of us, which if you watch that movie is a very scary line when you know why they're saying it, okay? And basically what Freaks is it's a traveling carnival with a freak show. and this one girl who's really pretty says she's in love with the freak, but in reality, they're kind of screwing the freak over. And I think she's with the strong man, if I'm remembering right. And the whole idea is they're going to screw this guy over, and somehow they're going to try to like shuckster him and get the freaks like money or whatever. And that doesn't turn out well. The freaks all back each other, and those people, they get their comeuppance at the end. So if you've never seen it, it is a fantastic Halloween movie. Todd Browning also directed a bunch of other really famous, great horror movies. So great director as well. Worth seeing. And then a modern sort of version of that type of thing is Tobe Hooper's 1981 movie, The Funhouse. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. Really cool creature in it. And basically that one is, and if anyone doesn't know who Tobe Hooper is, the guy who directed The Funhouse also directed Poltergeist and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we're talking a guy who knows horror movies, and this is one of his first ones. And The Funhouse is basically some kids decide that they're going to stay in a carnival's funhouse overnight. So when the park closes, they're going to just scare each other and stay in the funhouse. Little do they know, there is a live attraction in the funhouse who they do not really want to meet, and they meet. And it's a super, as a kid, it's one of the few movies that actually terrified me. I actually was terrified of that movie. So that is a good one to check also for, the spooky season. Peluso, you were surprised we were jumping into this. So I'll go to you next.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, no, I tried to go Halloween theme too as well. And, what's scarier than Marky Mark? So I went with Fear. The famous roller coaster scene with Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon. I don't know. I hope everyone's familiar, so I don't have to describe it.
I know it.
Yeah.
That's basically isn't that the abusive boyfriend movie?
That is, yes.
Stalker-ish abusive boyfriend. He was a stalker.
Let me in the fucking house. I believe is one of the famous lines from Fear. It was filmed at in British Columbia, Playland Amusement Park. Is where the coaster reminds me of the Cyclone. I don't know why, but it just does. So I got Fear and Marky Mark because what's scarier. And then A House of a Thousand Corpses is a fun one. I love that. Rob Zombie, and has, the little roadside tour where you get your free fried chicken too afterwards, which I absolutely love. So great. So friggin' great. Yeah. And I don't know if any of you's got to do the one at Universal, but they had Captain Spaulding there with the fried chicken bags and everything.
Oh my God.
It was fantastic. It was definitely one of my favorite houses that they ever did.
Wow, that's awesome. Good selections, man. Yeah, actually Fear isn't that the transition of Marky Mark to, who he is now.
Exactly. That was probably the last Marky Markish version of himself in Fear. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a fun movie. Definitely is fun.
All right. Well, we know Scott has some zingers, so we're gonna save him for last and go to Andy next.
I'm gonna save me for last.
Right.
You know why.
Nice.
Well, and staying with our Kiss theme from last time,
Yes.
there's Scooby-Doo and Kiss, Rock and Roll Mystery, which actually is much, much better than the Kiss movie.
Than the movie, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Much more believable plot in this animated Scooby-Doo story, and lots of really cool Scooby-Doo chase scenes to Kiss songs. And,
you actually just made my Halloween because you know what? I've never seen that one. I'm going to absolutely watch that before the next 2 weeks, man. So that's awesome.
That's great.
And the other one I don't think we mentioned, but movie with Steve Carell, The Way, Way Back.
We did not.
So, no.
It was a pretty good movie. Liam James is in it, and he plays a teenager kid who lives with his mom, who kind of doesn't pay too much attention to him. And Steve Carell is his mom's boyfriend, is kind of a dick. And he doesn't want to be at home much, so he gets a job at the local water park.
Nice.
And typical 80s coming of age movie. But this one was, I think it's only about 10 years old, this movie.
It is. And what's hysterical is it was on my list for next month, motherfucker. So I crossed it off.
Oh!
Good one, Andy. Good one.
Nice.
All right, Scotty, you're up.
All All right. Well, first one I came up with was Hellfest, which was from I think 2018. It was another carnival-themed horror amusement park where they it's basically like a horror-themed carnival, and then a serial killer gets loose in there and makes it a real horror show.
What was the name of it, Scott?
It's Hellfest.
Hellfest. I don't think
It's worth actually, Peluso, it's worth watching. It's pretty good.
Nice,
it's not bad.
nice.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. Good choice, Scotty. What's your other one?
And the other one, I'm not sure if I blew it because I'm now the more I'm thinking about it, I think somebody might have already mentioned it, but the amusement park.
I think I mentioned it, but I don't think I mentioned it as part of this. Let me look. That's the George Romero movie, right?
Yeah, George Romero back in.
Nope, you get it.
When was
I
it,
never. You know what? I
73
mentioned it
or 5?
before we did this. Yeah, so you're good.
Yeah. So that one I actually haven't seen, but now reading it, I definitely want to check it out because it sounds really cool. It's like just about an old senior citizen who's in a theme park and he starts having all kinds of terrible goings on just because he's so old and treated so badly by all the other amusement park guests that it becomes like a horror show for him. So definitely sounds something like worth watching.
It is. It's available on Shudder. That was actually where it premiered. It was a long lost Romero movie that the Romero Foundation redid, and they put it out last year. And it is, if you worked at an amusement park like we did, it is fucking bone chilling. It is literally like a guy who finds himself just trapped in the amusement park, and everything that is a trope in an amusement park, like stuck on lines, people not paying attention to you, people cutting you, all those tropes play into this, but the guy realizes he can't leave. He is stuck there forever, probably. And it is fucking chilling. On top of the fact that it's an older guy who's also kind of probably getting a little senile, it's real. I mean, I haven't watched it since it premiered, but I can tell you right now, I was like, holy shit, this is scary. And it's not a horror movie. Like, it comes out as a horror movie, but it's not really meant as a horror movie. It's meant more as a social commentary, kind of like Dawn of the Dead was, unintentionally a social commentary about like consumerism in the mall, So if you watch this movie there, you can see the same thing. That's what amusement park was like. He was definitely doing some type of commentary on, like what's going on in society around him. But it is fucking chilling. Like, as a person getting older and having worked in an amusement park, that scared the shit out of me. Like, I did not like it. So that might be why I never watched it again. But now I kind of want to, because I'm like, wow, wonder now that we've been doing this podcast so long, maybe it's worth a revisit, But yeah, you can get it on Shudder and maybe AMC Plus because they own Shudder and they put a lot of their movies on Shudder on AMC Plus. So it might be available too there, but it's definitely available on Shudder. So worth watching for sure. That's a good pick, Scott. That's a hidden pick. I don't think most people would even know about that one.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was good.
I did something right. Thanks.
You did good, man. All right, let's get a little. We got a little bit of time, so we can do a little bit of news. First of all, boys, I think you all know I sent you the email. We all made it big. We have bootleg shirts of the podcast now, so I feel like we made it big.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
That's
hey,
huge.
shirt guy, send us some shirts.
For anyone listening, if you did not see our post and you see those posts advertising our shirt with a big retired sign on it, A, we're not yet retired, okay, even though we're old, okay, and B, we're not selling those shirts. That is an absolute bootleg shirt. I mean, enjoy. If you bought it, you actually get it. It's fine. However, one of my friends tried to reach out to their customer service, and it felt a little scammy with the response.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think so. I think it's a graphic, and they just try to get your money.
You might not want to buy that one. I'm just gonna say. So, all right. Here's news that I call bullshit on. Okay, this was released on a bunch of sites based on a TikTok video this girl posted after going to Great Adventure. Okay. This was posted on the ITM site, okay, inside the Magic site, and it was posted on August 28th of this year. Headline: Six Flags guest nearly dies on roller coaster given snack voucher. That's the headline. Okay. So the first line is: after surviving a dangerous malfunction on a roller coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, a guest was simply shrugged off, and fans of the amusement park are not happy. In a TikTok video, Six Flags guest Sammy Quinn, known as Sammy T. Quinn, recounted her traumatizing experience on one of the roller coasters, which they've gone on to say they believe is King Ka. Okay. She claims that halfway through the ride, the restraining bar completely opened up, but her and her friends were able to pull it down and hold it so she didn't fall off the ride, and she made it to the station. And in a situation, this is a quote from the article, in a situation like this, you'd think that in park employees would want to help and remedy the problem as soon as possible. However, this did not seem to be the case. The ride comes to a stop. I get off the ride. I told the attendant, I'm like, hey, while I was on the ride, my restraint completely popped up and I had to hold it down so I didn't die. And the attendant says, oh, I'm sorry. You can exit that way. And that was the end of it. Does any of that fucking ring true to any of you guys right now?
No, it does not.
No.
I have never seen anyone work a ride. Even the shittiest ride employee I've ever had would not do that, especially not a roller coaster employee. So I already call bullshit on that, but it gets even better. Then she takes her issue to guest relations. And she says, you know, I now have PTSD and I'm terrified and I'll never go on another roller coaster again. So I went to guest relations to complain. And they told me that, oh, we're so sorry. We're going to give you a snack voucher for Dipping Dots. Have a nice day. That's what she claims guest relations gave her.
Well, Dipping Dots are good.
Yeah.
She likes Dipping Dots too because she ended her tirade by saying,
What size Dipping Dot?
this did make me laugh. So finally, one commentator online asked the most important question of all: what Dippin' Dots did you get? And Sammy Quinn replied in a response video, well, I got the vanilla Dipping Dots in the largest possible size because my life is worth a large size vanilla Dipping Dots.
Wow.
I don't know. My opinion is Sammy Quinn, you're full of shit. That's my opinion. So, you know. What do you guys think about that? Any truth to that one?
There's no truth to that.
Doubt it. No.
Now, Great Adventure then, after seeing all this online, was contacted, and you know what they said? Our guest relations has absolutely no record of anyone complaining of a ride malfunction on the roller coasters that day, including King Ka. And she never specified which coaster. So apparently later on she did, but not in the original videos. I don't watch TikTok videos, so I'm just going off the article, and I don't like TikTok, so I'm not going on it to watch them. And also, she's so full of shit, I would never break my I don't watch TikTok videos for this crap. But that just sounds like such bullshit. I'm just like, whatever, you know.
Would have been great if they went on to say we don't even have Dippin' Dots.
Oh my God, would that be the best? Dippin' Dots won't close for the day.
We're short-staffed today. Dipping Dot stand is closed.
Exactly. It wasn't even open that day.
But on your next visit.
I love it.
We lost Scotty.
I know, we lost Scotty. Well, I'm not even commenting. I'm just, you know, it's Scotty. You know, he might be back, he might not. I don't know. It's kind of like Scotty at work. Where is Scotty?
Hey, he made it almost all the way. There's only 2 minutes left. He made it close.
How many times did we hear? Base to 160. Base to 160. Base to 160. Are you there? So come on, you know.
10-7 in the Blue Parrot.
Here may be my favorite. I'm gonna leave us with this one, and then we're gonna close down. Oh, no, I have two. I'm gonna leave us with these two. These are my two. Women's inappropriate behavior also inside of Magic, by the way, which is the most raggy fucking Inquirer site ever that tries to slam amusement parks and all their news things. So everything is made to either make you go holy shit or like bullshit. Either way, you know. This one is more of a holy shit. I absolutely believe this is true. Would never have thought about this until I read the article. And now I'm thinking, how did I not know this was a thing when I worked there? I should have looked out for this. The headline, women's inappropriate behavior at multiple theme parks comes to light. A woman is making the rounds on the theme park news social media community after she allegedly confessed to having intercourse on dozens of roller coasters throughout the country. I'm not going to read the rest because I already know this because I read it twice and I could not stop laughing. She's not fucking on the roller coasters. She's fucking the roller coasters. Her thing is to grind whatever lap bar or seating mechanism or seatbelt thing is around her, and she claims she gets off by doing it. And they actually have all the Reddit posts from her and everything if you look it up. So you can find out who this person is and you can look at it. But she claims she goes on roller coasters and she has a condition where that's her fetish. Her fetish is to grind on them. And the gross part is she claims she tries to do it with no panties. So she's just grinding her body against us. Which, as a germaphobe, immediately made me go, oh, I sit on that seat after.
Those trains are
Oh.
wiped down every day, Steve. Don't worry.
That should be the thing. If she's allowed in the park, they have to wipe every goddamn ride down after she leaves. You
You
know?
need to hire the security guard to walk with her with some Lysol wipes or something. I don't know. That's bad. That's bad.
I've never even thought of that possibly being a fetish that you get off on grinding on rides. I mean, but it's probably out there now. I mean, she's probably not the only one, but especially now that she's out there, other people are probably like, hey.
I thought we all liked rides at amusement parks. Maybe, you know.
That's an upcharge.
Who knew?
You know, I used to hate the wedge in between the seat on the log flume, but I kind of like it now. I'm going to take the back seat all the time.
Don't put that lady on the flying wave.
Yeah.
She takes the Superman one, so it's just spraying the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. All right. Chris Bassett, but there's some weird people. You got it, brother. There really are, man. That one made me laugh so hard because I'm like, I believe this one. I absolutely believe this one. I'm grossed out as hell, but I believe it.
Too ridiculous not to believe. Yeah,
absolutely. And the fact that there's pictures of her face on the Reddit posters, like posting, I'm just like, all right, well, this seems all out, you know.
There's a certain level of pride there, you know. So
this one is actually. This one caught my eye because entertainmentweekly.com posted this, and then a bunch of other sites posted it as well. So this one, I was like, holy cow, Chris put the Justice League guns. Oh, I'm never using those guns again. Oh, that's gross. I cannot believe this one because Entertainment Weekly doesn't usually post anything on rides. So I was laughing when I read it because I'm like, must be a slow fucking news week for them that this is what they're going to post as opposed to any other thing about entertainment, you know, TV, news, you know, movies, whatever. The headline, Disney World sued over painful wedgie from ride that allegedly caused grisly vaginal lacerations. I see Andy's face. I'll read it again slow. Disney World sued over painful wedgie from a ride that allegedly caused grisly vaginal lacerations.
Okay.
Ultimate wedgie. Wow.
Even worse. A couple has sued Disney World after a young woman reportedly suffered grim injuries on one of the Orlando, Florida resort's Typhoon Lagoon attractions. According to the complaint, attained by originally, this one's from a different site, but this one's following off the EW site. From EW and the lawsuit filed Wednesday in Orange County, Florida. And this is from September 2019, 2023. Okay. The woman seeks $50,000 in damages stemming from injuries that the former allegedly suffered during an October 2019 visit. By the way, they're suing now for 2019. Okay. She suffered during an October 2019 visit to the water park. Okay. So basically, careening down a water slide can be an exhilarating experience. However, it's riddled with risks because, according to the legal documents, okay, McGinnis alleged that she suffered permanent bodily injury, including vaginal lacerations or cuts inside her vagina that caused heavy bleeding after riding the park's 214-foot-long Humunga Cowabunga slide. McGinnis also alleged that she suffered a hernia where her bowels protruded through her abdominal wall. According to the lawsuit, McGinnis could have walked away from the slide injury-free if Disney told her and others to follow certain safety procedures, like wearing protective clothing and explaining.
Supposed to cross your ankles. Everybody knows that.
I know. Wait. Right. And explaining the purpose of certain guidelines, like being told to cross their legs at the ankles while riding the ride. The lawsuit alleges that McGinnis was made aware of this ankle crossing protocol, but not how important it was. No one stressed she should do it. They just said that it was part of the protocol. What am I missing here? They told her to do it. You can do it.
You didn't say, off that ride. Every one of them's got their bathing suit up around their neck. You know what's going to happen.
Bingo, right? And then what cracks me up is this article goes on to say vaginal injuries from water slides are rare, but can be serious. Genital injuries from water slides are rare and can range from minor to very serious, as per OBGYN Carolyn DeLucia. No shit, lady. We all know this.
World expert on amusement park inflicted
Yeah,
vaginal
you guys get
operation.
it.
We
I
need
don't
to
even
raise
need
awareness for
but-
this.
It's a good thing we have this program here because we need to raise awareness.
There needs to
This
be some
never
kind of
happened.
ribbon.
I felt like this was a perfect one to go out on because this is our PSA. You know,
Yes,
this is
yes,
our public
exactly.
service announcement. If you're on a water
Remember,
slide,
cross your ankles.
We're here to
thank
help.
you. Knowing is half the battle, my friends, and now you know. All right, my friends. Time always flies when we're chatting about GA and the other theme park industry. And as I say, all good things must come to an end. We're gonna get out of here. Many thanks to everyone that joined us on Facebook Live. We love the comments. Sometimes we get so involved in the conversations we don't respond back, but we're definitely reading them, and we usually do afterwards. We appreciate everyone who listens to the podcast when my dumbass finally loads it up. And until next time, signing off for now, I am Steve Hicks.
Scott Loudon. And Chris Peluso.
Andy Aulietti.
We wish everybody a happy Halloween, and as always, make it a great day. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.